Hi, I'm Joe Lagilia, and on today's episode of Not Your Average Joe, we're talking with Angie Agater of the Fit Foundation. Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Not Your Average Joe, powered by Mortgage Message. My name is Joe Lagilia, and today we're joined with Angie Agater of Fit Foundation. Angie, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We are so excited to have you. You've been nominated by prior guests of ours, so we always love when a prior guest of ours nominates a new real community hero, so welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Angie, if you can, tell everybody just a little bit about who you are and what you're all about.
Okay. I was born and raised here in Joliet. And how my whole business started was I was going through a divorce. I had 3 small children. They're like 3 and 10 and 12. And I wasn't making a lot of money. I was in real estate. That's when everything was on the low.
I remember.
So to make ends meet, I turned my garage into a personal training studio. I got my license, and I kind of was able to do that so I could stay home with my kids and make a little bit of money. And it was a nice little side gig, and I had my customers. I've been into health and fitness since I was 18, so this is like my passion. This is what I've always wanted to do. So my customers, my clients would always say, hey, would you cook for me? All of a sudden I'm like, well, no, I can't cook for you, but I'll give you these recipes,
Right.
and they still wouldn't do it. And diet is a huge part of health along with working out, and that's where a lot of people struggle. So eventually I decided to go ahead and give it a try, and here I am now.
The Fit Foundation was born.
Yes.
Well, and I just to kick off the interview, I want to recognize the fact that what I love about the beginning of this story is that, life happens to all of us at times, and you saw this moment as an opportunity to say, I'm still going to pursue my dreams and my passion. Just do it a little bit differently. Do it in a way that, the space I have for my kids and everything else to do it. I love that. And I know that that's going to resonate with so much of our audience. Now, tell me a little bit more about these clients and these customers, because I'm sure there was a few in the beginning that were real raving fans, and obviously that customer base has grown. But tell us about kind of the ideal demographic of the customers that you have.
Well, it started out with my sister and her best friend Sarah.
Awesome.
So start inside circle.
Usually family, right? Usually family, yeah.
And so, then it's some of their friends, and then people I met, and they were very big supporters of mine. And then also I was friends with someone who owned a nutrition store in town. And to promote my personal training business, he let me cook some things with his protein powders and showcase them at his store. So, and that's kind of how this was born, because it was such a hit that he's like, hey, if I put a fridge in the back, why don't you throw some food back there,
Wow.
And
Yeah.
so I wanted to do it the right way. I didn't do it out of my home. My sister had owned a restaurant out in Marseilles that had been closed down. And she says, hey, you can use that, just pay the mortgage on it, which was like $500.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even really afford that, but I figured it out. And so what I would do is I'd drop all 3 of my kids off in the morning. I drive 50 minutes out from Marseilles. It took me 3 months to renovate the kitchen,
Wow.
get it approved by the health department. And then I would go, same thing. I would drop the kids off at school, go cook, come back, pick up the kids from school, drop off the food at the nutrition store, and then do it all over again.
Unbelievable.
So I did that for a little over a year. And then I moved into my kitchen, because that driving out to Marseilles was...
Yeah, it's a lot.
It was a lot. So I found this kitchen in Crest Hill, which was literally just a couple miles from my house, which was fabulous.
Amazing.
And moved in there, and within a couple weeks, my business doubled. So
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, and I think, again, just the pursuit of this dream, it just continues, the story continues to get more exciting for me, because there's so many roadblocks that were there that you just decided, hey, I'm going to keep on overcoming. I'm going to keep on pushing through. I love this message so far. Well, tell us, just because I'm a little bit of a foodie, tell us about the food. You've been talking about the food. Tell us more about the food of kind of the creation of it, how it started, where it's kind of developed into. Tell us more about that.
Okay. I moved to Texas when I was 19 years old. I got married. My husband at the time was in the Navy, and I was alone. I had no family, no friends, and I wanted to learn how to work out. I wanted to learn how to cook healthy. It was kind of like a hobby. So I'd go down to the apartment gym, and I would figure it out from magazines, anything I read, and same with the cooking. And back then, it was all about, I was just trying to lose weight, so everything was non-fat, chemicals. I didn't understand the health portion of it. I was just trying to lose weight.
Yeah.
And over time, I developed the fact of that. And I was cooking all the time. I mean, I just love to cook. So then over time, I got introduced to clean eating. And what that is I try to tell my customers, it is based on food that comes from the earth, all natural. A big problem with the food that is advertised and what people eat today is it's full of chemicals, things we can't pronounce. Our bodies aren't supposed to process that. We're not supposed to have that. So I don't know, like I did this for me and for my family. So I remember my first day when I opened up, I was so nervous. I'm like, okay, my friends like this, but I mean, is anyone else gonna like this? And I remember ringing up, my purchases for people or their purchases, and I felt like I was ripping them off. I'm just like, I don't know this is worth anything, but.
Yeah, well, and I think it's a huge, thing when it comes to getting a business off the ground is, it's your passion for you, but is the world going to love it?
Right.
And empowering through that voice is really important, and you did that. Thank goodness, because what we're talking about here is literally life-changing. You're changing people's lives by creating just a better framework around their health, and speak to a little bit of the maybe success stories that come to mind, maybe some client testimonials that you think of when you think of this life-changing idea that you've put into the world.
I have customers that have not only lost a lot of weight, it could be anywhere from 10 pounds to 60 pounds. They've told me they've been able to get off their blood pressure medicine, their cholesterol medicine. I tell everybody that I know everyone comes in looking to lose weight. That's usually their main goal. But what I tell them is if you eat the right foods, that's a side product, because if your body's a machine, you put the right fuel, that premium fuel in it, it's going to run properly. So you're going to, all these health problems that are caused by all the food you're eating and inactivity are going to go away, plus weight loss naturally happens from that. So
well, and to your point, this is I feel like now more than ever coming out of the pandemic, so many people are at home. So many people, really dove into Netflix, guilty as charged, and it's time to get back outside. It's time to get back out there. It's time to start getting more active. And I think your program, product, service completely caters to that. Talk about being in Crest Hill now. Has the community, we were talking before we went live here just about the community awareness. How has the community awareness been going with the growth that you've had thus far?
During the pandemic, I really struggled. Because the Joliet restaurant site is fabulous, but no one wanted to see my food during the pandemic.
Right.
Everyone was about the pizza and the ribs, which was great for those restaurants. But it wasn't until kind of that we all started coming out of this and people are feeling horrible because they're eating all this horrible food. Then they're like, hey.
It's time. Angie, it's time. Yeah.
It's my turn.
Right. Well, and I love it. And you're there
right.
for them. You're there for the community. We're celebrating 7 years this year.
Yes.
Congratulations
Thank
to you,
you,
by the way. That's amazing. And I, as you just mentioned it, the last couple of years had to just be incredibly challenging. Looking back at the last 7 years, looking at this beautiful story of a woman's dream, a mom's dream, wanting to get her passion for health and passion for people out there, what do you reflect on when you think of the last 7 years?
I'm very grateful for my children. My daughter, she was in junior high at the time, and she had to basically help raise my 3-year-old because I was working anywhere from 12 to 14 hours a day. And when I came home, I was so tired. And my son's always been my oldest son is my cheerleader, always giving me hugs and telling me I'm doing a great job. All 3 of them do. So they've been my rock, and along with the rest of my family. But I am so grateful for all the people who have supported me. I tell all my customers to this day, I wouldn't be here if they didn't support me and believe in me. So it literally I've become friends. I try to learn everyone's name. They come and tell me about their family. I tell them about mine. I really want my store to feel like a place of home for everyone. And I think I'm doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and speaking of doing that, it's something that I mentioned to you, following you over at Fit Foundation on Facebook page, which is a very, very active page, which I love to see. We share a love and a passion for video marketing. And as I mentioned to you, everyone needs to go follow you over at Fit Foundation because you have this incredibly welcoming, warm presence that you're sharing kind of the daily updates with your customers, with your audience, welcoming them to the weekend each and every single weekend, which is just a phenomenal idea because it's more than just the food. It's more than just the, getting in shape. It's about the mental positivity, right?
Absolutely.
And you embody that. And so, again, I just have to ask as one lover of video marketing, what got you to get past that point of saying, hey, listen, I know I may not, sound or look how I want in the beginning on video, but you know what? I'm going to communicate with my audience. Just kind of speak to that if you can.
Well, at first when I started doing those videos, you're nervous. You're like, oh my gosh, what do I look like? Do I sound stupid? How many times I say,
Right.
And now if you see my videos, I'm making mistakes all the time and I'm giggling. I'm chasing my employees around because they don't like to be on camera, stuff like that. What I want people to see I'm a real person and what I'm doing. It's just not about my business and that I do care and that I'm just like them. And so it's okay to be goofy and silly and...
I love it. So you're not so I'm not the only one who chases around employees that don't want to be on video.
No,
okay, good.
My girls hate it. It makes me giggle.
I love it. So this just kind of segueing into the community aspect of this. This is definitely a community-based show, and you have an amazing community initiative that you've been doing and are doing. Can you speak to our audience about that?
Well, my customer of mine named Sandy, she asked, she kind of got this ball rolling. We have our meals put into containers. They're microwave safe, freezer safe, recyclable. And of course, my regulars, you accumulate a lot of these containers. So she said, hey, do you think that if people wash them and brought them here, I could take them? She has a friend of hers that gives food out to the homeless in the community. She makes it and puts it in containers. And one of the biggest expenses was the containers. Like if you get those Gladware containers in the grocery store, they're not cheap.
Absolutely.
So why not? So we have this big tub in the front. And I do always mention it, but I really didn't have to push it. It was amazing. My customers, this container is overflowing a couple times a week with Clean Fit Foundation containers. So Sandy will come in once or twice a week and pick them up and bring them to her friend. So we call it our Community Cares Project. So it's just a way of something that very little that we could all do that's going to greatly help somebody else.
Well, what an amazing arbitrage. It's, not just obviously for the community that you're serving food to that is certainly in need of it, but you're doing better for the environment.
Right.
I mean, what an amazing arbitrage. I love that idea. Angie, we mentioned how many people who know you in the community look at you as a real community hero. And so we want to ask you in closing of this interview, who is your hero?
My dad's my hero. He's always told me and my sister since I was little that but you're a girl, but you can do anything a boy can do, and you can do it better. So he's always been my biggest cheerleader, and he's come from nothing, and he's a great man. So he's my example.
I love it. As a father to a daughter, thank you for that, and thank you for your dad, because certainly we're going to share that sentiment. So, Angie, so many people watching this cannot wait to get connected with you, both online and offline. Fit Foundation, how can someone get connected with you and your mission?
Facebook is great. I'm on there every day posting, whether it is my food. I love to post about other small businesses. I do it all the time and try to promote them. I also have a website, fitfoundationforyou.com. You can just give us a call at the store. So
and tell everybody, if you can, where exactly is the store located?
We're in Crest Hill, so we're in a shopping plaza on Route 30. You can kind of whiz right past it. But I always tell everyone, if you know where the chalkboard was, we're kitty corner across the street in the same shopping plaza as Walt's Hobby Shop.
Everybody knows where the chalkboard was, so that's perfect.
Everybody, right?
Thank you so much. Angie, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And thank you to our audience for tuning in to another episode of Not Your Average Joe, powered by Mortgage Message. We'll see you next week, everyone. Take care.